Hello again, this is Olivia of Saturday Night Studios here with part 2 of my model horse painting tutorial. So you have your horse, you have your paint, your pastels, your fixative, and everything, and you're just ready to go. And you're just ready to prime it and start painting. But there's more you have to do before you paint. You can prep. Prepping takes almost as long as painting sometimes. It can take forever. As you can see, a model's not exactly perfect. There's seams, it may be rough in places, and there may be some things you just want to kind of alter. So that's what prepping is. This is where you use your sandpaper and your nifty file collection, and you get your horse, and you find a seam, and you just start going and sanding it, and smoothing it out, and getting rid of all those imperfections. You can even go over like the whole body and smooth it out if it's rough. There's no need to remove all the paint because the primer will just stick to it and the paint doesn't like do any weird reactions. But there's sometimes, but you can kind of sand it. And let's see. See, around the legs is where the seams are really bad. You just have to kind of file away at that, sort of smooth it out, still there. Just keep filing and sanding until it finally actually looks good. And the Breyer logo, they generally have a little logo right here under their legs. It's kind of an eyesore, so generally you get rid of that. That can take some time. If you have a Dremel tool, it'd be good to kind of maybe sand it away first. So yeah, that'll take a while to get rid of. While you're prepping, you can actually do more than just sanding away the seams. Like, see his ears? You can actually get a Dremel tool and kind of carve them out so they dish in and look like real ears and not little horns on his head. And you can carve out their hooves and do like, make them look realistic, which I do in every model. And you can get crazy and use this stuff and sculpt new manes, new tails, new everything. But this is a beginner's thing and we're not going to be doing that. We're just going to get rid of what's already there. Here's some different examples of prepping. This is a stablemate that is prepped and ready to paint. Basically they're really seamless, but you just kind of have to go along the legs, get rid of the logo on their belly. Just kind of sand over it a little bit. They're not really a hard prep. This one I had to fix his ears because they were like mule ears. This is an old Breyer. Old Breyers are a pain to prep. See, you have to go all the way along the seams. This one's not even done. I've been working on him in months and they're really bad. Old Breyers are not good for beginners to prep because they take forever. And here's a new Breyer that I'm not going to paint, but as you can see, there's like hardly any seams. It's not a big messy seam mess. See, there's nothing along the legs. So this is a very easy, like no prepping required. And this is your prepper's nightmare. This one I actually repositioned and epoxied. This is, you don't do this when you're a beginner. It's a mess and I don't want to look at it either. But the horse in the tutorial is a Walmart Dreamer set and his seams aren't too bad, so it's good to use those too. After a lot of prep work, here's our horse. He looks pretty scary. I sanded all over his whole body, especially on his legs because they were all bumpy. Then I did some epoxy work. I gave him a forelock. I fixed his face a little, his legs, his tail, and I also carved out his ears and hooves. You really don't need to do all this. I just like going crazy. But yeah, basically all you need to do is just get rid of the logos and stuff and don't do this if you're a beginner. And now it's time for washing. Before you prime, it's a good idea to wash your horse and get rid of all the dust and finger marks and oils. Usually you use like some kind of dish soap. Just put the horse under some on, and then put it all over his body and make sure you get everywhere. Make him nice and clean. And then take some off. Here we go. It's a good idea actually to not dry him off and actually just put him out in the sun and let him air dry. Because when you use like a towel, sometimes like pieces of the towel and fabric particles stick and then get stuck under the primer, and then you have flaws everywhere and it's bad. So just set him aside for a while and let him air dry. Okay, your horse is dry, you have your primer, now it's time to start priming. The number one thing about priming is you have to do it outside. The spray fumes, if you're not in a well-ventilated area, will kill you after a while. So go outside and do it there. Another thing is, on the directions of the primer it says to usually shake for at least 5 minutes. Yeah, shake it for 5 minutes. If you undershake it or overshake it, your horse will come out like sandpaper and it's bad and you don't want to have to retake your primer off. So follow the directions and shake it as long as it tells you to. Okay, I'm pretty sure my primer is well shaken now. Now I can finally start priming. You can either set your horse down on the ground and like prime, or you can just kind of hold it with a glove on your hand and by the tail and then just start spraying that way, which is usually what I do. Okay, the key to primer is don't glob it on. Do short, even strokes all over. Just keep doing that. Don't just go in one place and cake it on, because then it chips off and that's bad. See, just go like this. Keep doing this until you can't see the horse's color. There we go. See? It's coming out really good. It's covering. Shake your can while doing it, just to keep it shook up. And then just keep doing this until he's completely white. Here he is, completely primed, prepped, and ready to go. All the factory flaws are gone. The original paint is gone. He's a completely white canvas for you to start painting. Except you can't start painting yet. You should give your primer at least overnight or a day to dry. Then you can start painting, which is what we'll be doing in part 3 of the tutorial. I'll see you then. Bye.